Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Please do excuse the mess that is my office. We're at that time of year where everything's like coming down from the loft, whether it's like autumn decks, Christmas decks. You know, I've got Christmas presents over there that it's just absolute chaos, which is why we're facing this way. And because believe it or not, this is probably the best background view you're actually going to get because of how chaotic my office is right now. So please just excuse the mess. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to reset after you've had a break. So for those of you who know me in real life, you will know that I have just celebrated my birthday, and before that, obviously, Connor and I had been to Amsterdam, so there's quite a few things that thrown me off track. So I'm going to talk to you today about some tips and the best way to then get yourself back on track as soon as possible, especially with the fact that we've got Christmas around the corner, which for a lot of people is also going to throw you off as well. So I'm going to share some tips, tricks, and just other things that I do just to try and keep me as on a consistent path as possible. Okay, so especially at this time of year, it is very easy to think oh my god, I've messed up and everything's just gone to pot. But I think it's really important, especially at this time of year, it gets just so social, and sometimes, eating out or drinking is just unavoidable, and also it happens every single year. So I think sometimes you just need to be kinder to yourself, but also put smarter plans in place so you feel better about it, because ultimately this is more of a mental battle than anything else. And it's not because you're lazy, it's not lack of willpower, it's just because life ramps up, routine changes, stress goes up, and food becomes more social. And as a coach, this is literally the time of year where I find that my clients need to rebuild their momentum the most, because otherwise it just tends to disappear into the new year, and then they have to start from not the very beginning, but a couple of steps back. And ultimately, if you've got a good coach, that's not what they want for you. And I ultimately don't want that for you either. Okay, so here is the first rule of getting back on track. Do not use guilt as a motivator. At the time, it feels really productive, but that's the thing that's normally what's keeping you stuck. What I see most of the time is my female clients just saying, I'll train harder, I'll try and out-train a bad diet. Trust me, it doesn't work. I'll cut carbs, I'll skip meals to make up for it. But that is where you go wrong if you're already entering it with that mindset. Yes, you can do all of that, but the thing is, within a week, you're just going to be exhausted, you'll be starving, and mentally, you're just going to be done. So step one is this. You're not starting again, you're continuing, just with a slightly messier middle. Also, if you've just had a break, don't try and come back at 100% intensity. When I came back from my birthday, I didn't just suddenly smash my hardest session. I came in, I focused on my form, I made sure that I warmed up properly, and sometimes as well, the weights can feel a little bit heavier than before you went away, and that's fine. You just got to listen to your body and just do what you can. If you can lift the weights that you lifted prior to the trip, prior to the break, then great. But if you can't, that's also fine too. Just keeping that habit up of going to the gym sometimes is enough. The key thing is that you're actually just reminding your body what consistency feels like. And that's exactly what I get my clients to do, because burnout, stress, and injuries don't rebuild habits. Confidence does. Okay, so I'm now going to share with you my 3-step framework for getting back on track. Okay, so number 1, reset your expectations. For the first week back, you might just feel flat, especially if you've been away somewhere. The idea of being back into that same old routine can sometimes feel a little bit tedious and a little bit So if you are feeling flat, that's totally normal, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that your nervous system and your muscles and your routine is just recalibrating. Remember, when you're coming back from a break, we're not looking for perfection. Number 2, simplify everything. So what I mean is, when you come back from a break, you don't all of a sudden need a new meal plan or a detox or a cut or a January level overhaul. What you need is just to bring your simple structure back. Those routines, those non-negotiables, those simple things that you can tick off every single day to bring some sort of routine or structure back. And the thing is, if you were doing these before the break, you know that they can fit into your life after the break. It's not rocket science, it's literally just doing what you did beforehand and just fitting it back into your life again. For most of my clients, this looks like 2 to 3 workouts a week, protein at every meal, drinking more water than wine, not 0 wine, because let's be realistic here. Daily movement, even if that's just walking. You know, if you're somebody who has a step goal of 10,000 steps, maybe for that first week it's just 8,000 while you get back into the rhythm of it. But at least you're still carving out that time and that rhythm and that routine for your steps. Number 3, build momentum before Christmas, not after. And this part is key. If you wait until January, you're just putting too much pressure on yourself. Getting back on track now means less damage control later and more confidence going into Christmas. And ultimately, it makes January a lot smoother. Plus, if you've got the mindset of, I'll just wait until January, then you don't have the right headspace. Like, think about it. Why are you waiting till January? What is so magical about January that's going to make it easier rather than starting, say, today or tomorrow? Sometimes you just need to finish the chocolate that's in the cupboard. I hate to break it to you, but if you've got the mindset of, I'll wait until January, you're probably less likely to succeed than if you've got the mindset of, okay, I'm going to do something now. Even if the nutrition's not 100%, but you manage to do the activity and you manage to do the steps, then tomorrow, with a bit of planning, you can incorporate the nutrition. And then at which point, you're 2 to 3 weeks ahead of all of those people that said, I'll start in January. An environment reset can also be really helpful. So if your gym bag is empty, your kitchen is chaotic, and your workouts aren't scheduled, motivation won't magically appear. So if you really are looking at getting back on track, then what I want you to do is do these 3 simple things tonight so you're ready to go for tomorrow. Pack your gym bag. Write a simple shopping list focusing on your proteins, easy meals, snacks, and put workouts in your diary like they're appointments. A lot of my clients say, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym outside of our sessions, and yet they still manage to come down and see me during their lunch break. And then when we unpick the situation, we find out that they could go in the morning before work, they could go during their lunch break, they've got an hour in between meetings and they're working from home that day, so they could probably go then, or they could go after work, and we find 4 or 5 scenarios where they could go. Or if you're somebody that's got a job that doesn't allow you to sneak off during the day, then actually, could you go Saturday, Sunday on your days off? Yes, you can. But a lot of the time people do struggle to do that. So you've got to make sure that you turn up for those sessions as if they were a PT session, as if it was a hair appointment, as if it was a dental appointment. They are just as important for your health as all those other things. Okay, so let's actually talk about what getting back on track actually looks like, because it will look different for other people. Now, what it doesn't mean is eating perfectly. It doesn't mean training 5 times a week or feeling motivated every single day. It means showing up even when it's messy. It means choosing consistency over extremes and trusting that small actions compound into bigger things. So those were my tips and tricks on how to get back on track after a short break. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.